Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel and to another spooky Halloween video. In this one I'm going to be sharing with you some really easy to make Halloween cutout cards, and I'm going to show you how you can make your own designs too. So without any further ado, let's get started. Here I am then in Cricut Design Space, and I've got my project up on the screen here. As you can see, there's 3 different cards that I've already done, and if you want to use these you certainly can. They will be in my profile page, so if you need to find that, I'm going to pop a small video down below for you so you can check that out. And it's a super quick video just showing you how to find a profile in Design Space. All I'm going to do first of all is just hide each one of these cards because we don't really need them on the screen right now. Then all I'm going to do is make one of these designs. So let's go to the shapes menu, and we just need the basic free square that you get. Then what we're going to do is unlock that padlock, and we're going to make this to be the size that we need for the card. So mine's going to be 20 centimeters overall because this is the front and the back of the card, and then 10 centimeters will be my height on it. I am going to change the colour of my canvas just to make it a little bit easier to work with. So let's just change that to this grey. Then we can change the colour of our card to be white. I'm going to just zoom back in to 100% because that was on 50. Next, what we need to do is find our image. All the images we're going to use today are Cricut Access images. So if you've got a subscription, they will be included. If you haven't, each one will be about 99p or 89p, something like that. But you do have to pay for each one individually. Don't forget, you could try out the 30-day free trial as well, and then that will allow you to use all of these images too. So let's go to images and find ourselves in the holidays and then in Halloween. And we need to make sure that we choose something that isn't floating and isn't going to cut out and cause the project to look really odd. So let's find ourselves something that is a single line cut. So we need something that's going to work almost as a stencil. So nothing like this, for instance, that's got the ghost and then his arms and everything cut out, because the Cricut is going to cut all the way around the outside and basically disregard all of this that's inside. This one would probably work quite nicely because these are not attached. So that's a one to add. So let's put that there so it's a possibility. Let's have a look what else we've got. I think this would also work nicely, so let's pick that one. And also the bats would work quite nicely as well. I've got 3 possibles there, so let's add them to the canvas. They come up pretty big, so let's just make them a little bit smaller. Which one do we like the best? I think I might go for this one, it's quite fun. Okay, let's hide them. I will keep them, so I'll leave them in the design. If you want to use them, feel free. Next, what we need to do then is centre this cauldron here. But of course, we've got the back of the card attached. So if we were to just select everything and centre it, it's going to put it here. And then we're going to have a problem with it being in the incorrect centre. So what we want to do is come over here now to shapes again and grab another square. We want to make this to be the exact size of what our folded card will be. So mine's 10 centimeters. So let's bring that over here, and we can't quite line it up perfectly ourselves. So let's select both of those items, come to align, click on center at the bottom, and then click on center to the right. Sorry, align to the right. So that is now basically representing the front of our card. The next thing to do is put our cauldron on the front, because if I move this now it's going to go behind there, and that's not really any good to us. So what we want to do is just move this up in the layers panel above that square. Now it allows me to bring that in and it's on top where I can see it. The next step then is to hold down your shift key on your keyboard and select the cauldron and the square together. Then come back up to align and click on center. And that has now centered that cauldron perfectly on that grey square. So if we were to come over here and hide that grey square now, it's centered perfectly onto the white piece of card that we're going to cut our main card from. So that works really well as a little hack for centering stuff when you're using an odd shape. I will leave that square up in the layers panel for you to use, and I will call it a centering square. So if you're going to use my designs, you'll be able to see exactly what that means. The next step then is to slice out our design. So let's come over here and select everything just by dragging over it all. Come down to the bottom and click on slice. Now with this, what's going to happen is the Cricut is going to cut all the way around here. So this bit here isn't going to be like this with the little swoosh on it, and neither are these bits. They're all just going to be cut out as one. So let's just move all of our bits out of the way. So that is what's going to happen, but remember, when it cuts these bits out, it will cut them out unless we add ourselves a little anchor point to hold this piece in place. Now I can do that, and I'll show you how to do that if that's something that you'd like to do. Let's delete these spare cauldrons for now. So if you grab another shape, you can pick whatever shape you like for this, it doesn't really matter. I usually just use a square. I unlock it, and then all I'm going to do is just create a really small slither just there, and then I can just twist that round. I'll just put it there, just check that it's not going to overlap there too much, and then I'm going to just weld that into my design. So what's going to happen now, the Cricut is going to cut around this and around there, and it's going to hold that little swish in place. I can do the same with these two handles. So again, grab another small square, open your padlock and squish it down all the way. I need 2 of these for this particular bit, so let's duplicate it, and then I can just literally rotate that a little bit. I'm going to just use the rotate button because it's easier than trying to do it when it's such a small piece. And again there, just rotating in the opposite direction now, and then we can move that up to there, select everything again and weld. Okay, so that looks a bit odd, doesn't it? But it's going to work, and it's going to hold it in place. The next thing to do then is to grab ourselves another shape, and this one is for the backing of our card. So again, we want it to be the same shape that we're using for the back of the card. We can afford to make it a touch smaller, and again just drag that down in the layers panel so it's behind there, and change the colour to whatever you fancy. I'm going to go with this bright green for this one. Now we just need our score line, so you can either score it manually if you haven't got a scoring wheel or a stylus, or you can put a scoring line on for your machine to do. To do that, come over to shapes again and click on the line at the top, and then all you'll want to do is make that about 10 centimeters or whatever your size of your card is. You'll want to click on the white backing of your card, and then you'll want to do shift again and hit the line button as well, so they're both selected. Come back to align and click on center horizontally. They're both there now. Keep them both highlighted and come down and click on attach. Now that is ready to go. So now let's go over to my desk and put some cardstock onto a mat and get this cut out. This is everything that I'm going to need to complete the actual making of the project. So I'm just going to quickly run through all of my supplies before we start. So I've got my brayer, I have a Cricut scoring stylus. This is what I'm going to be using today rather than the scoring wheel, just to make it a little bit quicker so I don't have to swap over the blades. I've got some glue, I've got my trusty squeegee, a pair of scissors, and my 2 pieces of cardstock and a mat. First of all then, I am going to jump straight into Design Space and just go through the cut settings on there with you. So let's do that right now. From this screen then, let's just go up to Make It. And as you can see, we've got 2 mats ready here now. For the second mat, it's not really necessary to use the Cricut because it's literally just a square. So we might cut that out just with our scissors in a moment. But the first mat that we're going to cut has got a score and a basic cut on it, which is what we expected. And then this is the design. So we're happy with that. What we need to do is go through to continue. Design Space has found my machine. So now I need to set my material settings up. I'm using a piece of black 300 GSM cardstock. It's pretty heavy duty stuff. So I am going to pick poster board for this one. If you know that you get a better cut using a different setting, please go ahead and choose the machine setting that suits your particular machine, because as we know, every Cricut is different. I am then going to come down to the second point on here, which is load tools and material. I'm going to click on edit tools. Then I'm going to change my double scoring wheel, which is the recommended piece of kit to use, with the scoring stylus. So I've swapped that out and I can click on apply. Now you can see it's changed to say we need to put the scoring stylus into clamp A and the fine point blade into clamp B. Insert the mat and press go as our very last step. So that's what we're going to do now. Once it's all cut out, I'll come back to you and we can put everything together. The design's cut then, so let me just remove my little bits of tape. The reason I use those is just because my mat is quite well loved, shall we say, and it's not as sticky as what it should be really, to hold this weight of paper down. Okay. There we go. Let's just bend the mat back so we don't bend our card and just pull that off. Now you can see what I mean and the reasoning behind adding those little rectangles. If we had left them, this piece would have fallen out, and so would these little handles. So that was really important. The next thing I'm going to do then is grab some green cardstock, and I'm just going to cut myself a piece that's suitable for this particular design. I'm not going to use the Cricut because it's a waste of putting it on the mat. All we need to do then is just make sure that it's going to cover that design at the back. So let's just cut this out with a pair of scissors. It doesn't always have to be the Cricut that we use. So that's a little bit long. Let's take that bit off there. That's going to work. Okay, what I want to do is come to the back and I'm going to just glue that onto the back. But what I want to do is make sure that it's going to fit perfectly. So let's grab a pair of scissors and just give that an extra score, because I don't feel like it's going to actually fold very crisply at the moment. I might actually grab the scoring stylus and use that alongside a ruler. Just don't feel as though it's given it enough pressure on there to do that. So just going to give it a good press down manually. I don't mind doing that, to be honest, just to make sure that it's perfect. There we go, that should fold nicely now. Perfect. Right, now what I'm going to do is just pop some glue onto the back of this card here. You can go a bit wider if you want to. It doesn't matter all that much. Let's just pop that down. Just press it down nicely. If you wanted to, you could even make it so that your card folds 3 times and comes out to here and folds over to cover that up. It's entirely up to you. But there is our finished card with the aperture cut out. It looks so cool. You could write in this in some gold or silver pen and make it look really snazzy inside. So don't forget that there's all those other cards on my profile that you can use, and I look forward to seeing some of them on Instagram pretty soon. Don't forget to tag me in any of your designs that you come up with, and I'll look forward to seeing you again for another video. Have a brilliant Halloween and I'll see you soon. Bye!